Hello and welcome back to another episode of Enlace After Dark. It's been 2-3 weeks since our last episode, and are just joining us. I'm your host, Art, and joining me today are my cast members of Tim.
Hi, my name's Tim. I'm a volunteer with Enlace, and I'm also the photo editor here at the Mesquite.
Along with Tim, we have Trey.
Hi. That's it.
That's all you got, Trey?
Yeah, I'm the, I guess, technical director still. That might change.
It really
Or might
soon,
not.
because you're
I don't
soon
know.
to be our incoming executive producer.
Yes, that's true.
You excited?
So, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of already doing it, so I'm kind of excited. It's gonna be good. You're gonna see a lot of new things coming out of this
Hopefully.
area. So, it's because we have a great team working behind me. They're the one that makes all this magic happen.
He's compensating for the meeting, Tim.
I just want to let you know we are live. Not live, but like
This is a
Really?
pre-recorded show.
I know, but like live as in we're recording.
Live as of recording, yes.
Okay, should we go to
that's
the
fine.
topic?
Tim, where were we the other week?
Yeah, so last week we were in Fort Worth, Texas. That's quite a bit up north from here. We actually took a train. It was about a 7-hour ride from here. We made a few stops along the way, but we went to Fort Worth for a competition that we called TIPA. It's the Texas Intercollegiate Press Association. And while we were there, the three of us actually roomed together. So we had to spend, we got to spend
Way too
three-
much time
we
lot
had to
of
spend
time
a
with each
lot
other.
of time with each other.
Way too much time.
And the
A
whole time we were
lot.
there, we were competing in live events, and then there was an award ceremony, a luncheon, a job fair. There's a lot of things going on. But even though I'm with the Mesquite, I still spent a lot of time with Enlace, and we still had a great time, right?
Love you, Tim. So Drake, how was TIPA for you?
Okay, so hold on. I think we should go through this at the same pace. I want to talk about that train.
You want to talk about
Okay,
the
we
train
can talk about
first?
the
That
train.
You
that
wanna talk about the
train.
train? We can
Okay,
talk about
first
the train.
off,
Okay.
the idea of a train, amazing. I think everyone should do a train. Now, saying that, the train's rougher than what I really thought it was gonna be.
Really?
Yeah,
How so?
I wasn't expecting it to move and tilt the entire time. I was expecting like a plane ride, just smooth straight through.
Yeah, but not
But
even a
we're on
plane ride
land,
is
so I should have
smooth.
expected,
Yeah.
different.
Tim?
Did y'all get motion sick at all?
I
No.
didn't. No.
I didn't either.
No.
Even though like we were swaying around a lot, I didn't really get motion sick.
You know what?
That has to do with a lot of the physics of you're in
Almost.
motion with the item that's
Okay,
in
you know what?
Because
Almost though. When I was doing my homework, I had my laptop out and my iPad, and when I was going back and forth, I could watch them move, and that was what's messing with me. So when I was trying to read and everything, just seeing the bounce
Right.
was getting me near motion sickness. Luckily, I finished all my homework before that happened.
So did y'all try the food while we were there on the
No,
train?
No.
After
No, I didn't either.
what you and
I
Moose
didn't.
went up, and Moose came back with some food, and it was like a little packet for $3. I was like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think Mooch went and got some.
It was a
like,
family
M&Ms.
size M&Ms.
He got the family M&Ms.
Yeah.
I didn't really eat anything. I didn't really get that hungry.
I wasn't hungry for the 7 hours of being on the train. I wasn't hungry, but I think it was because we left in the morning.
you left in the
I ate
morning. You had a
breakfast.
big breakfast, actually.
I had a huge breakfast. This man walks into the train station with a Whataburger burger with nothing but the patty and bread.
Homie, no, I had a cheeseburger with the meat, the cheese, and the ketchup on it, and I had my side of fries with ketchup, and I had my large Coke to go with it. I was wide awake.
Way to start the morning.
Is ketchup a sauce? Or
a
what do you-
smoothie? I get it.
No. Anyhow, these guys really didn't like the train.
I would do it
didn't mind the
again.
train.
I'll do it again if it's under 4 hours.
Sure.
Yeah. Anything above that, I'm taking a plane or
I like
driving.
the view. I was taking pictures.
The
for
view
work.
was
There were some good
amazing. We
views.
went
There
through
were some
some
good views.
beautiful parts of Texas.
But all in all, I mean, I would do the train again. Not anytime soon, of course, but it was pretty much about what I expected. I expected a lot of the locomotive, and then I was expecting
You were
I wasn't
expecting coal to be
expecting-
dumped in.
Yeah,
no,
I wanted to go
not
see the
that
cold.
Yeah.
I was expecting somewhere of or along the airplane experience, and honestly, it wasn't half off. I mean, it just felt like constant turbulence. at most times of it.
I
and
will
we're
say the seats
rocking
So-
were
it
very
live.
uncomfortable.
Huh?
The seats were very uncomfortable.
I've been in worse seats,
Yeah.
but they were
Yeah.
nice for what they
Have you
were,
been on
and they offered
Spirit?
a lot of features.
I mean, I'm
so
just
long
saying my
as
back hurt.
I mean, so long as the person behind you is nice about it, you could recline back, and then they've got actual like footrest and leg rest for you there too that you
Yeah.
can throw out. So long as if no one's behind you and stuff like that.
No, there's someone behind me.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and my lower back was kind of hurting.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, but it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a
those
lot worse.
train attendants, or would you call ushers, or what would you call them?
They're conductors.
The one who walked up and down to
He
check the
kept- yeah,
tickets.
the
That's the conductor.
Ticket checker.
The-
I don't know.
the-
what
that
you
guy?
call him.
That guy was so
Guys,
nice.
come on, Polar Express.
He-
Conductor. He's the conductor.
Oh,
Stewardess.
stewardess. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, behind the scenes. Oh.
You don't have to acknowledge
Yep.
them. They're laughing at us
Oh.
now.
Yeah, the stewardess made me feel seen. They like checked on us. It was
They
great.
didn't ask me anything.
They didn't ask. Oh,
Not a single question.
No.
Oh,
they
really?
asked you where you were going.
he asked where you're
Sure.
going,
Fort Worth.
and like, did he not be like, "Oh, how you doing?"
No.
He didn't like, be like, "Hey."
No.
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 Oh, I just must have a friendly face.
That's saying a lot. Trey, you're trying. Your resting face isn't the nicest face at times, and others.
Are you saying I have a rusty, like, mean face?
I refuse to acknowledge the question at
Okay,
this
so
moment.
at TIPA, once we arrived, how did y'all feel about the hotel once we got there?
It was an amazing hotel.
It looked like
It
a
was-
really nice hotel.
Really?
And then we got to our room.
We did have some we did have some problems at check-in about like just not getting our
Okay.
key. We sat there for about 30
was out of our
minutes.
hand though. That
Yeah.
was
And then I think only one or two of our keys actually worked.
2 of our keys.
Two of our keys
Yours and Art's worked. My key did not, and we had a spare key that did not work.
worked.
So I had to go back down and get new keys. And then later that week, Art realized I had a purple key and you had a blue key, and he was jealous.
What's the difference?
It's
Nothing.
Color.
And you like his color more than
He
your
liked
color?
my purple key more than his blue key.
These are the
No,
people I
I-
roomed
no,
with. These
no.
are the people I roomed with at TIPA, by the way.
I had to replace the key, so I got the purple key.
Okay.
All right.
All right. It was a really nice key. I'm
But
sad
the
we
room
had
was
to
a lot
return.
smaller and didn't offer as much as I was expecting. Like, I haven't been. I don't know.
What would you have liked to have seen?
I would have expected
couch in front of the
like a
TV.
little more space and a different like layout, if anything.
Really? Just more space and a different layout.
More space and a different layout. And you know what? They didn't even have a microwave. Most
I usually
hotels-
don't see a microwave. in
Most
there.
hotels I've been in actually do have a hotel
Okay.
microwave. So
I could vouch for that. Most hotels I've been in.
I
have
haven't been in a
microwaves.
hotel in a while. Y'all knew because I ran and drank that water right away.
oh yeah, getting us in
I
trouble.
I was kind of surprised when we walked in, saw no fridge, and then it took us a
Oh
whole
yeah,
day
it
to
was
find us out
inside
we had a
the
fridge.
furniture.
Can we
Yeah.
just talk about that fridge and how like why it froze every single thing we threw in there?
Okay, so he says a mini fridge has a little corner that is a freezer.
A
The whole
normal
thing froze.
mini fridge.
The whole fridge froze.
And no matter where I put those bottles, when I took them out, they were frozen solid.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no way
Was
without
there-
like separating it that you could have a freezer and a fridge.
No,
That's what I
there
was
is.
You would need to physically separate the
No,
two.
there is. Look,
Well, you know what? His milk was pretty solid.
Because it froze.
That was
and y'all
disgusting.
gagged thinking it was a bad milk.
I didn't eat it because I thought it was disgusting.
That was disgusting.
I
I'm
ate my own
surprised I
thing.
was able to eat my cereal after I saw you pour your milk into your cereal and this glop fell in.
It didn't. Okay.
What was
It
the
was
onomatopoeia
disgusting.
of it when it fell in?
What did the little glop taste like, Art?
Like milk.
That was disgusting.
Okay.
Dude, I was
So-
sick watching you eat that.
So having my little cup of cereal, I cracked open the newly bought, the unopened, the first purchased owner bottle of milk.
It was like less
Right.
than 6 hours ago.
And we bought it the day before. And I left it in the fridge overnight because where else am I going to put it? So the morning, I crack open my cereal and I pour in my milk. And it pours into the cereal just fine. But then there's like this like frothy or like slushy looking grouping at the top of the cereal. And I'm like, that's a bit weird. Maybe that's just the foam from the milk. Because, sometimes when you
That
crack-
wasn't fun.
was
No.
so that was so
That-
so-
That was my milk being partially frozen, and the time what had gone in was slushy, basically. Slushy milk is the best way to explain what it was. And then I was like, okay. I showed it to these two jokers, and then I took a scoop, and it was just cereal and milk. And everyone, it was cereal and milk. There was nothing wrong with the milk. It was
My
just
Honey Nut Cheerio
frozen.
bar was great. That's all I'm gonna say. My breakfast bar tasted great with no milk. I had a great day. I went to my competition without having a weird milk.
Well, my milk thankfully didn't have a gulp, but it still, didn't
have the
taste that
goop?
great. Yeah, it didn't have that. It was regular milk, but it
Mine was
really
regular
didn't taste
milk
that.
too.
So I had a granola bar after that, and that was nice.
Okay,
That's it.
okay, so let's stop talking about the milk.
That milk was
let's talk about
disgusting.
TIPA.
Oh my lord.
So we had how many competitions together did we compete in? I
did
competed in 2.
3. I'm
You
sorry, I
did-
did 4. No, we'll get into that. I did 3.
You signed up for 4.
He signed up
I
for
signed
4.
up for 2.
I signed up for
Once,
none.
Once we arrived there, we found that one of Trey's, was it news photo?
News photo and TV advertising had conflicting
those
times.
2 conflicted with one another. So, as a way to ensure that we still had somebody to compete, we entered Art to be our
Hi.
advertiser.
And he did
I did the
amazing.
thing. I didn't do amazing.
How
I
many
think-
people were in that competition?
2.
It's hard to tell because in my competition, at least, there was everyone from print, TV, and radio all in the same room. So
And we all kind of had a similar experience with that, right? That they were combined competitions at times.
Yeah.
yeah,
All of them, I think all of them had some sort of.
They were usually never alone.
Yeah.
They usually had somebody else.
I know with mine, the majority of my room was for print,
Mhm.
and then TV and radio were the smaller groups. So I don't even know how many I competed against because the room wasn't even full.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So
So,
So-
and what was your experience like with that?
Yeah, we'll start with you.
I'd like to go last.
Okay, we can have
I think that reasonable.
we can,
for
okay, we
his
can end
story.
with that. That would be great.
That-
So Trey, since you had 3 competitions and I had 2, you can go first.
Oh, why? What?
You had the
Okay,
most.
So you can start.
You- you
Alright,
were
I'll
like
start with
3,
my
2,
3.
1.
I started with news photo, and it was amazing. So this year they took us down to
To the lake.
the lake, and the fire department and search and rescue was there. So they were out on boats. We were taking pictures of the boats, and it was
It was a
it was
stage.
simulation. Oh yeah, it's stage or a training exercise for the search and rescue. What it was a drowned Hispanic male, 31 years old.
You still remember the full report?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was like 2 weeks. It was like a week ago. When was TIPA?
I don't know, like a
I don't
week
know.
ago.
It was a good amount of time ago. I remember the whole report. Just don't ask me what their names were. I don't remember that. I'm bad
Oh,
with
so the
names.
names are the first thing that goes.
So that was cool. So the search and rescue team, they got in all their dive suits, jumped in the water, came back up with another diver. They're actually not gonna pull up anyone because it's a simulation. So they pull him back in, and then they just drive the boats off. And then the battalion commander comes out and does kind of a, what would you call
A
it?
press conference.
A press conference with all the news reporters. And to be quite honest, I just sat there and listened. I didn't take any pictures, or I took some notes, but I was just there because I was there for the photo part. So I was like, I think I'm going to use a different photo that I already got, which I did end up doing. So that was cool. And then I talked to some of the firefighters because that was our first day before we left about where to go eat. And they gave some good suggestions.
Mhm. What did we go to any others?
No.
Okay.
No, we only went to a
No.
place
Good
But
to
that
know.
sushi place you
Jake's.
wanted to go to, that was recommended to me.
Nobody wanted to go with me. Nobody wanted to eat sushi with me.
I don't like fish. Or I don't like seafood. to be
Whatever.
More, yeah.
So that was your first competition,
Yep.
and you came back from that, and
super
you actually
excited.
called me, and I went down there to see you while you were writing
Oh,
your cut
yeah.
line.
Oh yeah.
And what was that like? The editing process? Pretty straightforward.
So finding the photo and editing, because I do a lot of photo, was probably the easiest part for me. So as I take pictures, I look through them all. So I already kind of knew what photo I wanted to post. So I just looked through like my top ones and picked from there. What I struggled with was the cut line.
Mm-hmm.
As just being a photo person, the cut line took me forever. I don't remember what my cut line was.
I remember you called me over and I was
Yeah.
correcting.
And you just looked at it and you're like,
Oh yeah, I was like, "Am I allowed to tell you what to do?" And you're like,
I was like,
"No."
no.
And you're like, "Does it look good or bad?" And I said, "Bad." And I walked out.
I love how we're forgetting that I was there too.
he was there.
You
But
were
did
there.
you see my face after you said bad?
No.
I was just like completely destroyed.
Yeah.
I probably sat down for another 40 minutes to an hour trying to figure out how to fix that cut line.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't constructively help.
You couldn't help me because it's a competition,
Yeah.
and that's understandable. But yeah, and then I turned it in on the dot at 2 p.m. Yeah, I was almost late, but I was trying to get it in front of the judge because originally they were supposed to go up and give us USBs,
Mhm.
and then they changed it to a form that we had to fill out and send it through.
Mm.
So that being last minute saved me
Yeah.
really. But to be honest, I use a Mac, and they were like, "We're gonna give y'all USBs to."
And they don't
I
have
panicked.
ports. They don't have the
My
port.
Mac does not have a USB port,
Mine
and they
doesn't
were
either.
like, "We'll figure something out for you," and I was like, "Great," but I'm glad they changed the whole system.
And that's kind of a common theme about the time of us like turning things in right when they're due.
Dude, I thought I had so much time because they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna come back to the hotel. You're gonna have about 2 hours to edit, do your cut line," and in my head I was like, "Done. I'll be done within like the first hour, 30 minutes, whatever."
Mhm.
No, I was stressed that entire 2 hours, and for every event, I went in so excited, like I got more than enough time, and all of them ended up the exact same. Turning it in the last, well, except the future photo, I finished that in like 30 minutes.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that was true. You did that
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah, I did that I got lucky though.
Mhm.
I got really lucky. But the other two, turning them in on the dot, I needed all that time.
Yeah.
And honestly, if they would have gave us more time, I would have used it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. And then my next one was feature photo. So they gave us a list of names that Fort Worth is nicknamed. We had to go out and find something that represented that and use it in our cut line. So I used Cowtown.
Mhm.
And why'd you use Cowtown?
Oh, because I walked out and straight to my left was a bunch of cowboys going.
And what were the Cowboys here for?
The Cowtown Rodeo.
It wasn't a rodeo. It was a Cattlemen's Association Expo. And it was perfect. I was like, oh, I'm just going to go take these guys' pictures, interview them. And I did that. I took his picture, did a portrait. It looked really great. Did my thing. And I walked up and I was like, hey, I got all my future photo stuff done. And he looked at his watch. It was like, it's like 35 minutes. I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, so where do I turn it in? He didn't know how to turn into the photos. So,
The judge.
not the judge, the advisor.
The advisor.
Yeah, which makes sense. So he had to
Sure.
go back and he had to figure out the whole thing. He came out and was like, all right, so this is how you're going to do it. Took him about another like 15 minutes or so. So I could have turned it in faster
If they knew the
if
system.
we knew the system, which is okay because the whole competition was like 3 hours and mine was done within like 40 minutes, which
Yeah.
is probably why I didn't win, but that's okay.
I mean, I think
Maybe not entirely why, but Trey.
I think that like when it comes to these competitions, like of course we want to win. But
Yeah.
it was just fun to be there. For a
I
lot
had
of it.
so much fun.
So one of the
Well, I'm
ones
glad y'all
that-
had fun.
So I think the first one for me was the two-person photo essay,
Okay.
and
I
how
wish I
that
did
worked
that.
was so very interesting that it got postponed at the same time something was leaked about the critical review.
Oh yeah.
So the critical review was pretty much like you write a review on a certain piece of media, whether it be like a movie, something live or not, and it got leaked that it was going to be a concert. So I was kind of upset because I really wanted to go, and I was like,
I really
I
wanted
was
to go to
so
that
mad.
too.
I wanted to go there, and then at around the same time they postponed the two-person photo essay, and that was something that I was supposed to work on, or I did work on with Amber from the Mesquite. She was our former photo editor. She's now a managing editor.
Oh, that's cool.
And when that got postponed, we didn't really know what was going on. I was kind of like worried because I thought, oh,
It was supposed to rain that day, right?
It's supposed to rain, but it's also going to be dark by the time. It would have been like 6:30, and I was worried about whether or not my camera would hold up in that low light. So eventually we all meet up and they say, oh, we're actually going to be combining the photo essay and the critical review. So it means that we both got to go to the concert, and I thought that was super cool. Um,
And you were the only one who jumped up stage.
Somebody else did.
Oh,
There
someone
was
else
another
did.
person, but I was the one that jumped on the stage in the middle. So I ruined as many people's photos as I could.
Tim, you monster.
I did not think about that.
Isn't
while I was
that the
doing it.
one thing they tell us is to be respectful to each other? You were in the
It
heat
was
of
a
the moment.
competition.
He was
That's my
respectfully
defense.
getting up the middle of the
So
stage.
They offered for him to get on
Yes, they
stage.
did offer. So we get there, we're kind of just like waiting. The band member's actually there, and we're just like kind of like standing around waiting for it to start. And as soon as they raise the curtains for us to go in, me and Amber just beeline it for the front, and we get like the speakers. I can put my camera like on the speakers, so I was there the whole time. They were saying like, oh, I mean, if you got your photos, like you can let other people in. I didn't let anybody in, so me and
You got
Amber
some
were
really
there
good
the whole
photos of
time in the middle, getting all these photos. And the first band was pretty good. They were alright. There were 3 bands that performed. The first one was pretty good. The music was fine, but they didn't really have like a whole lot of like stage presence. They kind of just stood there. The second group, their music was alright, and they had a lot of stage presence. They were like moving around. One of them pretty much got naked. He was in his underwear
boxers.
for a
Yeah.
little while.
God,
yeah.
that was weird.
They were like jumping around. They were doing everything. They were like running and all that. So they did pretty good, and they were the ones that were like, "Hey, if y'all want to jump on stage, like that's fine." And I look at Amber, and she's like, "So I did it." And I was up there for a little while. I didn't really like start walking around. I kind of just stood there to be eye level with them, and I got some shots from that, but nothing like too crazy.
I'm really
Mhm.
surprised you didn't go behind the band and get a shot.
I kind of wanted to, but I was like kind of worried I'd trip over the cords or like cause
Unplug
problems.
something?
Yeah, I really didn't want to like ruin anything. So
But you ruined everyone else's photos.
for like a minute,
It wasn't that long.
it wasn't long at all. And once they were done, the headliner came up, and I thought the headliner was really good. The music I thought was very good, and they also had a lot of stage presence. They had their own lights for it, so they had like a red and blue, orange kind of lights,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like super nice. They every time they finished like a song, they talked for a little while, and they were all super nice. The singer was super nice to everybody. But I thought it was gonna be 2 hours. It was probably close to like 3.5 to 4 hours long. We didn't get back
wow.
to like 11,
Yeah.
and they were like, "All right, your thing is due at 12:40." So me and
Oh.
Amber find a little corner somewhere, because I didn't know they turn off the escalators at midnight. So
I didn't know that.
like nobody was there. The escalators were frozen, and we were just like there, like kind of in the dark editing.
You called us because you needed your charger.
I did call. Yeah, my
Yeah.
And little did we know that you had a bad outlet.
yeah. So you spoiled the story, alright. So we get there, and I noticed my battery's low. So I called Trey, and he can't find my. We ended up finding my charger, but he brings me his, and I plug it in. It's not charging. Amber's has hers plugged in, and she's not complaining. So I'm like, well, it must be mine. And I keep unplugging it, and like everything, I'm like disconnecting everything and putting it back in, and nothing's working. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, these are still the raw images. They're unedited. It won't let me export them from Lightroom like quickly. I thought my laptop was just gonna die. So I was like rushing to get anything done to just find photos. And last minute, she notices that her laptop isn't charging either. And that's when we realized it must just be the outlet. So we find a little area, we plug our stuff in, and it works. But I was freaking out for probably about 15 minutes, just
you
like
freaked out the
because
entire time.
I couldn't work that way because my battery was gonna die. And we ended up figuring something out. We turned it in the minute it was due. We were like running to make sure that we got it there. And luckily, they took our submission. We didn't win anything, but
I really liked it.
I really liked my
They were good.
photos.
Y'all did amazing.
Yeah, the bands really liked the photos. They were reposting some of my stuff. That was super nice of them. Yeah, and I had a great time. I haven't been to a concert like that before, so it was
Mhm.
super cool. And the people there were so friendly. People in the crowd were nice. And I know Moose was there to do the critical review. I don't know how that went. I know Terry was there too. So I don't know how I would have wrote about it. It probably would have been super long, but the photo part was very fun. And then we did sports the next day, and we were both
my
there. So
God.
what was that like for you?
That was was an experience.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
your first time shooting softball, was it?
Yeah, my first ever time shooting softball. It was a good game. Well, the first game was a good game. The second one was
The
about
first
an
half of
average.
it.
I'm sorry, the last half.
Yes, the last
Yeah.
half because
So we showed up,
Yeah.
and the softball game was already going on, and there was what 3 more endings,
Innings.
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 Yes, innings.
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 Oh,
Innings.
okay.
They're laughing at you in the back.
I know. I hear it.
I had to
I'm not a
correct them.
sports person, as you can tell.
No, your cut line
Not in
proved
the
it.
slightest.
Yeah,
You're like, she slid into the, what did you call it?
second base.
No, you didn't call it base. You said something, and I'm like, what?
Second plate.
Second
You
plate.
said second plate, and I'm like, that's not the
Oh,
word.
You did not call it second plate.
So, okay, cut line aside, how was your experience at the game?
It was good. It was good. Everyone there was so friendly.
Who was
Oh.
playing?
I'm sorry.
Who was playing?
It was Texas
Dallas?
Wesleyan University and
Wesley?
Dallas Christian College.
Okay.
Wesleyan
Westland.
and Dallas Christian College.
Okay.
Still messing up the name.
It's okay.
I don't remember it at this point.
He gets nervous in front of the camera.
It's
I-
fine.
Yes.
That's why he's behind the
That's why I work behind the cameras. No, I had a great time. Everyone was nice, friendly. Even the players, when we were talking to them, they were nice. Oh, I gotta send them their photos.
New revelation on the podcast.
Yep.
Trey forgot to send the photos.
Yep.
Trey
I'm
forgot
sure
the photos.
someone sent them because
They-
they
We
passed
should.
out.
How many photographers do you think were there?
25.
12.
No, more than 12.
All right. So there's constantly at least 8 people around the home plate,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's always people. So maybe I heard there was probably 24 of us.
That's closer to what I would expect. About
Yeah,
20 to
20.
25 people.
Wait, is that just photographers or is that everybody? I thought that was everybody.
I don't know. There were a lot of photographers.
There was a lot of
Like all of my pictures, you could see like 3 or 4 other photographers in the background.
And then there's the one guy who had a remote
Oh,
camera.
There was one guy there who had a 400 millimeter f4,
That's almost a
lens,
$12,000
which
lens.
is about a $12,000 lens. It was not his. It was the university's. They had. I guess
they
he
just
must
had
be from a Division I
Yeah.
university, and
That
also
was
had a remote control.
amazing.
He also had
For
a
the
remote
camera?
control trigger.
Yeah.
So he had one of them. It looked like he had an 85 pointed right at home plate the whole time. So every sliding
That's-
play was there, and it was like, I'm there with my R6. A nice camera, a very capable camera, but I didn't have 3 cameras.
We talked about having multiple cameras.
We did bring that
I
up.
brought 2 cameras and forgot the batteries to my other one.
Good job.
So,
Well,
Excellent.
I brought 2 cameras, and I only had 1 adapter,
so you
so I
couldn't
could not use the other camera.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So we both had 2 cameras, and one of them couldn't be used. That was insane. That guy. Did you use the lens or hold it?
No, I've
It's
used
heavy.
one before. I used to use one.
It was really nice. I wouldn't be surprised if he won. Honestly, if he won, I would respect it. Like,
I wouldn't.
really? Okay.
If we all had 400
No.
millimeters, I would respect it.
Yeah. Okay. But you gotta be fair. There were some people there with like
There were
point
some
and shoots.
there were some people there point and shoots, and
Yes. So
that's one thing
we
about
can't
TIPA.
complain too much because
Well,
we still had good cameras.
I will say about TIPA is it's not when it comes to photography, it's not an
It's
even playing field.
Not fair.
It's not very fair.
There's gonna be people there with $12,000 worth of gear, and then there's gonna be people there with like $500 worth of gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the difference you can see the difference.
It's as a photographer, everyone sees the difference, and especially if you're having photographers
Judge your work.
they're gonna see the difference,
Yeah.
and it's insane.
Yeah, I do kind of wish that I don't know how you would balance that.
I don't know. How
It would
about
cost a lot
Sony?
of money to make sure that everybody has the same setup.
Well-
They'd probably have to provide them,
Yeah,
and
they'll probably need a sponsor for that.
they would probably I guess they did get sponsored by Sony.
Sony. Did you see some of the Sony cameras? They're nice.
Sony cameras are very nice.
Well, the technology in them was really nice.
Mhm.
Holding them, they felt kind of when I held it for the first time. I have small hands, so my pinky was holding off,
Nice.
so I could only have these 2 fingers in the button.
But I would say we did really enjoy the sports photo.
Mhm.
I think that
I
was
really
fun.
enjoyed the sports.
It was something that
great.
I kind of did frequently, but it was your first time, and you did really good. You got second
I
place,
did
right?
get second. Yep, I got second
So that
place.
was
That wasn't your only second place, though.
All right, we're gonna get into this.
So
I was-
at the
Hold on.
awards,
I was supposed to compete in 4 events. Okay, all the photos, so sport, news, feature photo, and then I was supposed to do TV advertising, but there was a conflict, so I could not do TV advertising. So I took Art downstairs to where you're supposed to do subs. And we filled out all the
I
sub-
took you there.
Okay, we brought each other.
I
down.
dragged Trey.
Okay, Art took me down to fill out sub
Oh my
paperwork so
gosh.
he could do the
That's even
competition for
worse.
me. And we fill out the paperwork, and you can take it from here.
And so with my newly found submission form for substituting in for Trey's TV advertising, I walk off to my conference hall to TV advertising. Little do I know, I'm not the only group in there. I've got print, I've got radio, and I've got TV in there.
All advertising, right?
Yeah, all for
Okay.
advertising. I was so underprepared. And now comes
The ugly truth.
the ugliest hour of my life.
I-
I meet Espejo member or freelancer Carlos, and we strike up a nice conversation before our contest. And he kindly mentions that there's some sticky notes that I can utilize. Now, this is important later in the story.
You utilized them.
So we get into the conference at our assigned time. Our advisor's a little late, and we funnel everyone in. And as it turns out, again, find out that in there, I've got print, I've got radio, and then there's me, TV advertising, all in the same room. The professor asked us which one of the groups that we're here for, and by the time we got to TV, I didn't look around. All I know is most of my room was for print. But by this point, everyone pulled out their laptops. And there I am, second from the front row, with my phone and my pen.
No paper, so why'd you bring the pen?
Because now hang on.
That's a valid question.
Hang on. So TV advertising is supposed to be storyboarding. Now, traditionally storyboards are done off of paper, and they've got a little template box where you doodle
traditional.
in
I think
the
it's
scene.
just used for,
Traditionally, and then you have the
schoolwork.
scene title, you have the angle, and you have what's in the shot, right? Like that's a traditional storyboard.
I guess.
Sure.
Right. So I'm thinking they might be a bit nice, and they might provide us additional paper, scratch paper, or something. You know, because storyboard forms, I've seen a variety of different of them, and I wanted to make sure that, if anything, I was using within contest, regulation, because this is a contest.
And you were within regulation. Certainly.
So the
Yeah.
professor goes over well and thoroughly everything about print, and then pretty much says good luck to me in radio. So I get my TV advertising form, and I'm still looking around, flabbergasted that everyone else has their laptop, and I'm the only one here with a pen. And I'm now looking around for scratch paper, template paper, any paper at this point. There's none. I sit there about confused for, we'll go with the shorthand of 5 minutes, looking between my contest form and looking around the room because I'm very much flabbergasted by all this. Incredibly.
And we're just there in the room. We're there in the hotel room doing our thing.
Yeah,
Oh, you're working.
No, I
Yeah,
was-
Trey
I was in
goes
the
up
house.
to his
in the hotel
contest.
room.
You're sleeping
I
still.
was
I was
doing
asleep.
news. I was, yeah.
I
So
needed that.
while they're off doing their thing, I'm there
You're sleeping.
flabbergasted,
What? I was just-
panicking because how am I going to submit something with nothing? So what do?
Carlos' voice rings in your head.
I take my contest form and flip it over to the blank side. I take my pen and I go to town. The requirements were for 2 storyboards, a 10-second and 30-second, and by God did I put 2 storyboards on the back side of a single sheet of paper. In an hour, I did all of this. And I finish it up. And I flip it back over, and I'm actually reading the rules and regulations now at this point, and it says here at the bottom of the paper, hard copy is acceptable only if legible. I flip her right back over and I start reading my own work. if I stumbled on anything, I knew I was gonna have to rewrite everything. And then that lovely angel, that voice rings in my ear. Sticky notes if you need them.
His eyes lit
so
up.
so Carlos put the sticky notes between us, and so I kindly take it over and I take the largest sticky note out of this little booklet of sticky notes,
Watching you like.
and I pull 3 of them out and I slap them off to the side and I start going to town rewriting every word I wrote. If I wrote scene, I rewrote scene. If I had to rewrote my narration, I rewrote everything. And on one sticky note, I write down all 4 scenes of my first 10-second storyboard. And on 2 of them, front and back, I write all 8 remaining scenes. And I put them together. And in this little space of my paper, I slap it on and I go turn it in. And I turn it in just after another advisor walked in explaining what to do is submit substitution forms to our current advisor. So I take it up and I turn it in, explaining to the professor, because it's fresh on her mind, and I'm the only substitution there, that I'm submitting a hard copy and that I'm the substitute. And now we fast forward to awards day.
And I win TV advertising. Thank you.
It was so good. Trey got the award.
It was so good that I won second place without ever showing up.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Trey. You're welcome for that
Thank you.
second place award in TV advertising that you didn't have to panic for an hour when you had an hour and a half to submit.
Well, I was panicking, just somewhere else doing something else. So my panic was so strong. I manifested second place in a different event. Yes. It's okay though. It was fixed.
It's getting fixed, and
yeah.
it should be fixed by the time this is uploaded. And so I won second place in TV advertising.
Now, Enlace won something as well.
We won quite a bit.
Now, as our team, our Enlace, our most recent team last semester, won a award in Division 1, actually, in documentary. And we got third place, correct?
Our Alonso got third place in Division 1 documentary for our mariachi video.
Yep.
And
Sure.
I was super happy about that.
That was great.
That was really good. And I think, the other people that competed, because we didn't go alone. We also went with the Mesquite and El Espejo.
Yes.
And they did amazing as well.
They
We
won
took home
so
a
many
lot
awards.
of awards.
We as a media group,
honestly,
combining all 3, we brought back a lot of awards.
We should have taken a picture holding up our awards. I know y'all held up y'all's awards, and then our group is there with no awards. Even though we won awards for that picture, we're not holding them.
We just didn't think about it.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
And then to
But
be fair,
it will
my
be here.
award
It will
was
be here.
my
There is
my
a
award
cool-
was misspelled.
Well, I could have held it for you.
It's a funny way to spell art.
Yeah,
'cause
you'll get it. You'll get it.
ART.
All right. Well, I think
Yep.
TIPA was a very fun experience. Unfortunately, that was the only time I was going to be able to go, since I'll be graduating next semester.
Oh, that's
But
true.
y'all should be able to go again, right?
Hopefully. Yeah.
I
I want to go
don't
back.
know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, they
I
just
would
didn't offer a
definitely
whole
want
lot
to
for
help,
me.
the underclassmen not freak out as much as we did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We were on edge
We were.
24/7.
Mhm.
Even when I wasn't competing, I was on edge.
Yeah, I don't think I got a good night's rest the entire time.
I'm
we were
sorry.
there. No, and that. I accept your apology. Actually,
I sleep talk, so it was
It was
an
an experience,
experience.
but it was also because I think we were all stressed out as well.
I was very stressed. I feel bad for the day you came back from the concert.
Mhm.
You came in here dehydrated and hungry because the last time you ate was like 2, and it's already 1 in the morning.
Yeah, I probably didn't eat for about 12 hours.
It's a little over.
I did eat a lot, and then I just went to bed.
Dude, I felt so bad for you because like
It's fine.
I heard it in your voice that you were just done.
Dead.
I was just so exhausted from the editing too.
I
We were-
think I think when I woke up, I saw like 3-4 bottles of water next to you.
I did have my little stash of of waters in my
By the
Gatorade.
end of it, there was like 6 bottles between the 2 of y'all's bed, and I'm pretty
They
sure
were all mine.
They were all his.
Yeah.
All 6 of those bottles were mine.
all 6 bottles on the floor and off the counters were just all Tim.
And I was dehydrated still.
Yeah, it was bad.
So I would say overall,
Overall, your experience was
I was very stressed out the whole time, but it was fun rooming with y'all, and I thought we had a great time at the competitions. I thought it was great when we went out together.
10 out of 10 would do again.
you would do it again.
I think
Yeah.
I'd do it again.
Yeah.
So,
New York. Okay.
New
We are
York?
not going to New York.
And we will be in New York next
Stop
month.
lying to our audience. Stop
We're
lying
not
to our
going to New York.
audience.
I want to. I probably won't be, but I want to.
Okay.
There's nothing going on in New York. I just said that. Is there anything in New York? I don't think there's anything in New York.
No, there's nothing in New York.
I mean, New York is cool. I just want to go there.
All right, wrap it up.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're wrapping
sorry.
it up.
Sorry.
This is staying in the
Shout
edit.
out to New York.
Shout out to New York.
Shout out to Texas. Anyhow, this has been Enlace After Dark. And again, joining me was Tim, Trey, and Art, myself. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye.
Take
Bye.
care. Be safe.